What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today is going to be kind of like a high-level overview type of video, kind of a where to get started in Google Ads, kind of some best practices for setting up your account, and basically once you get into the screen after your account is all set up, what should we do next? So I generally start with a few things when I'm working with a client saying, okay, here are the things we need to start with first. So first and foremost, and I use the search bar up here a lot, so you'll see some of the recent campaigns that I've searched for. But basically, first and foremost, the things that I recommend, always billing. So setting up your billing settings, that's always going to be the first thing because you need to have a billing profile in order to actually run advertisements. Google will put a big red message up here at the top of the page that you haven't set up your billing yet. So set up your billing. Make sure you're using a company profile if you want your business name to be verified. I would recommend doing that. And that kind of brings us right into the next part, which is verification. So this is something I'll generally recommend too, is if you go to verification, you'll see billing and advertiser verification. So basically when you're first getting started in your account and you're at the screen like this, going through everything here for billing is definitely the place I would recommend getting started. Your billing settings, your advertiser verification. I'm not going to go into all of this right now because this is going to vary for every single account, but this is kind of the starting point. Without it, you're not going to run ads no matter what else you do in the account. Really quickly, if you want to join a community of other people that talk about ads, then join the Surfside PPC ads community. Go to surfsideppc.com/community or school.com/surfsideppc, and you'll be able to join my community there. If you are interested in my Google Ads course, you can go to surfsideppc.com/course. It's $34.99. You will learn everything you need to know about managing Google Ads and making it successful for you. Last but not least, go to surfsideppc.com/consulting. I do consulting and audits in case you need help with an existing account. Let's get back to the video. And advertiser verification is something that Google is going to ask for eventually. You might as well fill it out right when you set up the account so that you can actually start running your advertisements and not have to deal with that later. So that is the starting point there. Once you have your billing and everything set up, then you can kind of get into the next part where it actually becomes more about your business and your advertising goals. The place I generally recommend going is connected products. So it used to be called linked accounts, but now it is called connected products. And basically, I would connect every single relevant product to your Google Ads profile. So this can include everything from the obvious ones, Google Analytics 4 accounts. So create a Google Analytics 4 account if you don't have one already, install it, and you can connect that directly to your Google Ads account, which will allow you to actually import key events if you want to. YouTube as a connected product, you can build audiences off of it. You can track more about any of the video advertising your campaigns that you're running. So definitely connect YouTube. Google Merchant Center, if you're selling physical products. So if you are an e-commerce website, or if you are just a company that sells any type of product, the Google Merchant Center is definitely something you want to make sure you have linked and make sure you have your products all added there so that you can appear in the Google Shopping section. Now, you might think this is limited to, okay, I'm an e-commerce store that's selling, I don't know, knives or something like that. Let's say that's my e-commerce store. Of course, you want a Google Merchant Center. If you have a Shopify store, for example, very easy to set this up. You can also do this if you're selling products in your local market. So a good example here is this is 202 Landscape Supply and Farmers Market. So they have things you could see here, clean landscape stone. You can add this to your cart. They have connected a Google Merchant Center account to their Google Ads account because you can see in here they actually have shopping products. And these are just like organic listings. So I don't even know if they're running ads, but they have their products in the Merchant Center because they are showing here in the Google Shopping results. So when somebody's searching landscaping supply, or they're searching something like bulk stone supply or bulk mulch supply, you can actually go through their website and purchase this directly through Google. So pretty cool setup. I'm always impressed with businesses like this that have taken advantage of this because it takes a marketer to really understand that you can do this. So those are kind of the places I would recommend getting started. Google Business Profile. So if you are a local service business, this one, they probably have a business profile connected to it as well. And then you also want to, this is just another example of a local business by me. They do a bunch of different services around me, but like landscaping. But making sure that you have all of these different things linked. Last but not least, if you're using a CRM that's compatible with Google, and there are a bunch of them. So if you search all here, you can go through every single CRM that's compatible. You can pretty much link everything you need to your Google Ads account. Linking things basically just allows Google Ads to communicate with other parts of your business. The more data you can give Google Ads, the better. So link all of these in the very beginning. Always kind of my recommended starting point. After this, you have everything linked. The next thing I generally do is going to be more into conversion tracking. So there might be a few things that you have to go through as far as like I would go through your account settings, preferences and notifications, probably not too many changes there. And access and security is really only if you are adding somebody else to your account. So billing, you should go through all these to get started. Next, what you kind of get into are going to be more of the conversion tracking. Within the settings here, you can actually make sure that you complete enhanced conversions, and then also make sure you accept the customer data terms, set your call conversion action. So these are all kind of things you really want to get started with. Enhanced conversions you can use through the Google tag. So link your Google Analytics 4 account, set up the Google tag on your website, and try to do enhanced conversions if you are driving leads. Using enhanced conversions and also sales, it could be useful for that as well. But using enhanced conversions will just give you more attribution data every time that a conversion happens on your website, and you can track it back to Google Ads. So highly recommend doing this if you are running a lot of Google Ads for your business, to make sure that you are tracking everything that's happening. So the next thing is going to be going to the conversion summary page and setting up all of your conversions. So generally you're going to have either a purchase type conversion. So you'll see here, these are actual purchase conversions that are tracking every time somebody completes a purchase on my website with a value attached. If you're using basically any buying platform, so a Shopify, a WooCommerce, for this is just Podia. There are a ton of different platforms that will connect directly to Google Ads. Make sure that you search for them within the connected products, or look for integrations through the platform that you're using. Incorporate any of these conversions that you have. This is where Google Analytics 4 could be useful. You can look up, for example, this is through Podia. So I looked up Podia Google Analytics 4 integration, got it integrated, figured out how to track the purchase conversion. It actually automatically just defaulted to using the purchase conversion. It also has when people start the checkout process or add something to their cart. So those are things that I can also track in here. So you want to track all of these things, even if you're only really optimizing for the purchase itself, which is really what you want to do long term. It doesn't hurt to track everything into Google Ads, setting up some of these potentially as just secondary conversion actions, things that you are not optimizing for when it comes to your bidding. So always keep that in mind when you're running your campaigns. From there, if you're doing more of the lead generation side, definitely phone call leads. So when it comes to phone call leads, you want to set up the 3 options that they have here. Calls from ads. This is a very easy one. Just set up your call asset. So every single ad has a clickable call button. Calls to a phone number on your website. So using call forwarding to make sure that every time somebody actually goes to your website, sees your phone number, and dials it, you're able to track that phone number itself with call forwarding. And last but not least, mobile clicks to call. People on mobile websites click on a call link on your website and call you directly from that. You want to make sure you are tracking all of those things as conversions. In addition to that, setting up a website conversion for signups, contacts, quote requests, whatever it is that you call it, and setting that up under a contact type of lead. So you'll see contact form here, submit lead form, text message I've had here, and a contact, another one that you can set up. But basically you want to make sure you're tracking conversions. So if you're using this website as an example, some of the different conversions you want to track: request a free estimate. You want to track this form every time somebody fills it out. Very important conversion to track. You want to track every time somebody types in this phone number to call you. You want to track, I don't know if they have linked phone number buttons here. Okay, so this one is linked. So you want to make sure that this one up here, anytime somebody clicks on it to call, you're tracking that as a conversion. You can do this anytime somebody actually clicks on your email to start an email with you. Track that as a conversion. So all of these different things should be tracked as conversions when you're getting started, because if you don't do that, you're not really going to know how successful your campaign is. So at this point, let's just say you track all of your conversions. I recommend using Google Tag Manager to track conversions. You can also do this through Google Analytics 4. If you have no clue how to do conversion tracking, I have plenty of guides on my channel going over conversion tracking. So I will link to them. But if you do a quick search, Surfside PPC conversion tracking, you'll see in some of my recent videos exactly how to do this for a lead generation company. Next up, so we have our conversions tracked. After that, you want to get into the process of building your campaign. Now, the way a successful campaign is generally going to look is you want to have separate ad groups for the different services that you're offering. So if we are talking about something like this Amazing Blades landscaping and we do mulch and pine straw installation, this can be its own ad group. Mulch installation near me, mulch installation services, mulch installation Myrtle Beach, Myrtle's Inlet. So these different areas here. The other one, basically anything in here could be a separate ad group when you're building a campaign. You could potentially set these up as different campaigns, but I would honestly get started. Irrigation installation near me, irrigation system installation, irrigation system repair, landscape lighting near me, landscape renovations near me, landscape design near me, landscape maintenance. You could potentially split these by, okay, let's put lighting into its own campaign, and then we're going to put all of the other lawn landscaping type of services, mulch, sod, plants, all of those into their own campaign. Potentially split out commercial type of services. Really depends on where you want to spend your budget, but ultimately, to make it very simple, you could start with one campaign, a search campaign, set up your different ad groups for the different services that you offer, and basically go through the campaign process. And to make this more, kind of go through the process of setting up a successful campaign. Within each ad group, you want to make sure that you have very targeted keywords. This was for a specific business, very targeted keywords that you're using. And then you want to make sure that your ads, which within each ad group, are very targeted, and that when you are sending people to a landing page, reserve your limo. So we're basically going limo keywords, limo advertisement, limo landing pages. Track every single conversion on the website, and you will see much better success with Google Ads, starting with that basic overall setup. Now, what you want to do when you're setting up your campaign, and this is kind of going to be the last thing we'll go through, create a new campaign. And what you want to do is choose your objective. If you are in e-commerce, or if you are a company like this where you're trying to sell clean landscape stone, for example, these types of companies should all be in the sales. So your goal is to drive sales online, in app, by phone, or in store. Basically, sales is when you are tracking an actual purchase conversion and you have value attached to your conversions themselves. You can do sales if, for example, you want to say, okay, we are a landscaping company. Every time we get a phone call, it's worth $50 to our business. Then basically what you're trying to do is we're trying to get calls for under $50, hopefully a lot less than $50. And we're hoping to get forms. If every form or quote request is worth $100 for your business, you say, okay, every quote request we get turns into $100 in revenue on average. So if you take that information, you can use that as part of your conversion tracking. Ultimately, if you are a lead generation company, you're trying to get new leads, whether it's a phone call or a form, you want to be here in the lead objective. You want to set your proper conversion actions, the one that we set up earlier. In this case, I'm probably looking at more of the phone call leads and the contacts, and you want to make sure you're setting up those two as your main things that you're optimizing for and removing anything else that you're not. If you're in the purchases, obviously you want to use purchases as your conversion goal that you're optimizing for. In this case, let's just say we're using this as an example. We will set it up as leads, and then it would be phone call leads and contacts, and basically just optimizing for anytime somebody fills out a form on our website, anytime somebody clicks on an email on our website, or anytime somebody actually calls us. So those are going to be the types of things that we're tracking for a client like this. Next, we're going to go to continue. Select our campaign type. You want to select a search campaign. This would be the best campaign for lead generation. If you're trying to drive sales, Performance Max can work better, shopping can work better, search can also work well. So you're kind of going to use all three of these. Some of the other ones here, video, demand gen, and display, definitely more top of funnel type campaigns, larger budget advertisers, maybe something where if you're spending 10 to 15 grand a month on Google Ads, you set aside a little bit, 5 to 10% of your budget to say, we're going to go after people with video specifically, understanding that it's probably not going to drive us conversions directly, probably not that many direct conversions, but we're trying to reach people who are top of funnel to ultimately turn them into a customer. If you have something with longer lead times, these campaigns can make more sense. Otherwise, search is going to be the best one for lead generation. You can test a Performance Max for lead generation, but it tends to kind of get off the rails, drive some low quality leads at times. I've seen it work. I've also seen it not work more often. So search is really where you always want to start with for lead generation. We want to use our website. And we're going to just take, for example, if we're using mulch, and let's just say they reach out to me and said, we want to target 2 different services, mulch and pine straw installation. Okay. So we can set that, or we could just set kind of their homepage. Click on continue. We could also set phone calls here and put their phone number in here. Click on continue, name our campaign. We will start a new draft. And what you want to do is start with your bidding. I would recommend focusing on conversions. You may need to start with clicks as you get started and set a maximum cost per click bid limit. If you're getting to this point and you're like, I have no clue where to get started, sometimes the best thing to do is just contact the company that does know. Go to surfsideppc.com, contact me. I'd be happy to help you, either consulting, going over creating your first campaign if you want to self-manage, or just doing management altogether. Otherwise, what you really want to do is focus on conversions, and you want to set up ad groups that are going to be very targeted, and make sure your targeting is going to be your exact focus customer. So we want to focus on conversions. We will click on next here. Targeting, we don't want to target search partners or the display network. We want to set our location targeting. In this case, let's just say we serve the entire Myrtle Beach DMA region, so 1.2 million reach. We have English as our language targeting. Audience segments that we can add to our campaign. We don't need to really worry about that too much now, so we'll click on next. Keyword and asset generation. Most important thing is, what are we actually targeting for? We can click on generate. I'm going to click on skip. We have ad group 1, and let's just say we are doing mulch installation. Okay, so we do that. We want to get our keyword suggestions, and you'll see mulch installation, mulch installers near me. You really want to find keywords where there's some level of search intent behind it. Mulch installation, not the greatest search intent, so you could potentially just target this as an exact match keyword, and you could pretty much target everything else as a phrase match keyword. So just surround it in quotes. So put quotes around all of these keywords, will make them phrase match. They're going to tell you to use broad match bidding or broad match keywords with maximized conversions bidding. It can work. When you're first getting started, it's not where I would recommend getting started. And when you're first launching your campaign, there are a lot of things to keep in mind to make it successful. So I would do something like this for mulch installation. Next, we want to build our advertisement. So you want to use this as our landing page and make sure that our advertisement is really geared towards exactly what we're targeting. So the headlines that I'm going to write are going to be things like mulch installation, services, we install mulch and pine straw, things like that. Those are the kind of headlines that I want to write, potentially pinning these in the first headline position, and then using call to actions. Contact us today, try to match them, request a free estimate, call us now. So try to use some call to actions like that. Description lines, I'm making sure I'm filling out all 4 of these description lines. Adding images, if you have images of your own, the work that your business has done, would highly recommend using those. Otherwise, high quality images here that match your services. Business name, you're going to have to get a verification for this. Business logo, you want to upload that here. Site links, so they pulled in some site links automatically. These look perfect. We can add additional site links, or I would recommend adding description lines to them. Save your ad, and then you're going to build out. So this would be our mulch and pine straw installation ad group. The next thing would be creating a new ad group and basically splitting it out and saying, okay, what other service do we want to target? For this one, let's do our sod installation. So this will be sod installation services. This will be our landing page. Now, I would recommend building out the landing page a little more, some reviews, a little bit more about the process, some better call to actions, even though sometimes this probably will perform decently, but you will do better with the landing page that has more information, more proof, better reviews, better information about the service itself, and then things that kind of make your business personalized. Pictures of the team, how long you've been in business for, the areas that you serve, where your office is located, ways that you give back to the community. All of those things can help because people are looking for those when they are choosing a company. But this is kind of like a high-level overview of getting started with your campaign. Now, we are going to leave this campaign, and I am going to discard this. And ultimately, what you want is a campaign using this Big Easy Limos example, a campaign with organized ad groups. Within each ad group, we have targeted keywords, and those keywords are targeting using advertisements that are going to be very relevant with relevant ad copy. In addition, making sure we have all of our assets added, so image assets, business name, business logo. Site links allow us to add additional links to our advertisement. You can put headlines and description lines. I've done this before, not something I do all the time. Call outs, benefits, selling points, reasons people should choose you, structured snippets, what are the different product services you offer, any additional details you can provide about your products or services or your business, structured snippets. Call assets, definitely want to add those. Those will add clickable call buttons and the ability for people to easily call your business even if they're on a desktop device. Lead form and message, kind of optional. You don't necessarily need to do these things. I don't start campaigns with these. Location asset, definitely if you have it. Connected products, you link your Google business profile and then you can add your location asset to your advertisements. Price assets, app, promotion, don't use those all that often, but they do have their place depending on what you're actually promoting. But this is kind of a high level overview of how to get started. Conversion tracking, how to set up your initial campaign, making sure you set up your billing, making sure that you are setting up your connected products. And then from there, you can kind of get a little more into your audiences. So if you go to Audience Manager here, this is through our tools and our shared library Audience Manager. You can build audiences in here. You can connect your data segments. So that would be your YouTube channel, your Google Analytics 4 profile. If you have the Google tag on your web or like the Google Ads tag on your website, you can track with that. You can create your own custom segments. You can combine multiple segments. You'll see there's data sources that you can add here, data insights about the actual data that you're sending. So you get some a little bit more information about distribution and locations and different things like that. So basically any type of information that you can get here will always be useful in terms of who you want to target and what your audiences look like. These are things you kind of do a little further down the line or in the tools. Exclusion lists, definitely things you can use down the line. Asset library, as you create all sorts of different assets from headlines, the ad copy, your images, anything that you're uploading to your Google Ads account will go into your asset library. Creating location groups, shared budgets, portfolio bid strategies. So all of these things are things that you might potentially use a little bit more often. Troubleshooting, ad preview, policy manager. So things you're probably not going to be in every single day, but from there, it's running your campaign, looking at your search terms, looking at auction insights to make sure that the competitors are your actual competitors, when and where your ad showed as far as devices, locations that you're, this is actually but when you get match locations in here, you'll see those in here. Landing pages where you're sending traffic to. So all the information that you have about your actual campaign itself, all the way down to the keywords you're targeting and the performance that they are getting. So kind of a high level overview to get started. Bidding, you want to use smart bidding strategies to go along with your conversion tracking. So those will give you the best results when you initially launch a campaign. It's generally not going to perform as well as it will a month, 2 months, or 3 months down the line with some optimization. If you want to get started with your campaign the right way, surfsideppc.com. Contact me, contact us, and we will get you started whether you want management or consulting. Make sure you do it the right way. It's very easy to waste a lot of money in Google Ads. I've done it. I've seen a lot of accounts that do it, and I have pretty good systems to ensure that we're not wasting a ton of our budget when we first launch brand new campaigns. So if you have any questions about any of this, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.